Classroom Relay is a way to monitor your students while they are in class. In order to do this, you have to set up your classes in Classroom Relay. In order to do that, you're going to go into your Google browser and you're going to go to classroom.relay.school. And it will open the web page for Classroom Relay. And this is where you go anytime you want to access what your students are doing. I would encourage you to bookmark this so that you have it easy access every day. When you get to Classroom Relay, yours might look a little bit different. I have set up a couple of my classes, but not all of them. So you'll come to the dashboard and you'll notice over on the side it lists a class. Some of you, when you open this, it might take you to a class from last year because using Google Classroom, this was automatically set up for us. This year though, since we're not using Google Classroom, we have to do it on our own. So in order to do that, I'm going to click where it says my period 1, and I'm going to click manage. When I opened mine a couple of days ago, I had a giant list of all of my former classes in Google Classroom. I would encourage you to go through that and click the 3 dots on the side, and you can either remove or hide those classes so that they don't appear there anymore. You can still get back to those classes if you needed to for some reason. They'll just be in your hidden classes. In order to add a class for this year, you're going to click that plus sign, and it's going to bring you up and ask you to name the class. Once you've given the class a name, you're just going to press save. I've already done that for my classes for this quarter. In order to add students to those classes, you're going to go back to those 3 dots and you're going to click View Class. And it'll bring you again to that dashboard. You'll notice that mine is empty. I've added 1 student. I haven't gotten through the whole process. From here, you're going to click More Options and you're going to go to Class Settings. Now, there's a couple of things in class settings that you have to pay attention to. The first is that you want to set up your class schedule. So whatever class it is that you've set up, you're going to put in this schedule for that class. That means that when your students are in your class, if they're on a district device, you can see what they're doing. It will not give you access to their screens outside of your class time, whatever you set here. So for this class, I'm going to set it as Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And my class is normally, my 5th period is from 2:30 to 3:30, but for right now, I'm going to set it so that you can see what this looks like for students that are currently logged into a computer. So I'm going to put in my times. I'm going to save that. And it's going to drop me back to the home screen. That's okay. I'm going to go back to More Options and that Class Settings. And then I'm going to enter student email addresses. So from here, I can enter each of my students' student number, followed by the @salemkaiser.org for their email, and push the plus sign, and it will add them. Alternately, you could also use option 1 and 2 down below, where you give students a URL or a link, and they put in that class code. So there's 2 different ways to add those. Once you've added your students, you can go back to the class. So you're just going to push save. And it will tell you if your student is online. So I have 1 student that's online, 1 that's not. And then you can click on that student and it will show you what tabs they have open. So this student currently has Canvas open, his Zoom class open, and the Salem Kaiser website. You can also go into the browsing history and see what other things he's been on today. You can go back. So if I want to go back to like yesterday and see what he did yesterday, okay, it will show up there. So again, this is where you can see what your students are doing. If you notice there's a tab open, like maybe he's playing a game, or maybe they have Snapchat open or something they shouldn't, you can click the X and it will close the tab for that student. This is real time, so you'll notice he is working on an assignment in Canvas. That's why it's highlighted in blue. That is his active tab. Any of the other tabs are their inactive tabs. Now, if I were to click on the Zoom tab here, it will actually change the student's view so that that's the tab they see. So that's something to be a little bit careful about. You can also send students messages through Classroom Relay, okay? But this is just a good way to kind of monitor where students are at and what they're working on and if they're actually doing their work in class. Hopefully this was helpful.